Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic, and we here. We just doing a quick music stream. I don't know if it's gonna be super quick. It's probably gonna go on for a little bit. Y'all know me. Y'all know if you know one thing about me, um, is that I love music. It's that I love music. All right, and I love talking about music. I love listening to music. It's always a good time. I love like vibing to music, going to some place, somewhere, cool, chill. If I go to a restaurant and the music is like, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? When you go to a restaurant or wherever it is, like somewhere an outing, and like you chilling and the music is really nice, like that's like one of the best things. You know what I mean? When you go to a restaurant, they got the playlist on, everything's good. You just hear like track after track after track. That's like one of the best things. So I love music. I love music. I think like tomorrow, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna have my stream where we talk about whoever can come through will come through. I'm gonna contact some people, see if they're ready for it. But tomorrow I'm gonna have my stream on talk about No Names 25 and a lot of stuff and music in general, I think. Because usually when we have those kind of streams, it always kind of like branches out into just like us talking about music, not just rap music, all right? Because I know a lot of us love rap music, and rap music is like dope and it's great. Like there's a lot of great rap music out there, and I think people listen to like a lot of sort of different rap music than just like, oh, it's got to be like hard, and it's got to have like certain type of rhyming, and like, you know what I mean? Like the bars have to be like battle rap, but you know what I mean? I'm like, look, like I just have to say I don't like battle rap at all. Like, I mean, there's little dope battle rappers out there. There are dope battle rappers that have come before this recent like, stream of battle rappers. So I like battle rap too. Like I like battle rap. I like a lot of this stuff, but I think like right now I'm just like I'm in a different sort of space. So there's certain types of rap that I really, really like. And there's other rap that I'm just like, I'm not there. Like, it's hard for me to like listen to like anything that sort of sounds like battle rap, unless it's actually like battle rap, unless it's like in that space and you see these two people just kind of going at it. It's different, than like, oh, here's like, here's a diss track that's like a little too like aggressive in a weird way and doesn't really have any like substance or like heart or whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. I'm just kind of in a space, So a lot of the music that I'm just listening to right now is like, a lot of, let's see something, a lot of yeah, rap music, R&B music, some rock music, some like punk music, stuff like that. It's just different. It's like whatever it is that like I'm really feeling. I'm feeling a lot of like, feeling a lot of like jazz influence like type stuff, jazz bands, rap, just like good rap music that like has like a lot of like neo soul like elements, jazz elements, funk elements. You know what I mean? Old school soul elements, stuff like that. Like to me, that's like I love that stuff. Because for me, like I think I started on R&B music. I really did. I think a lot of people kind of maybe started on pop. They maybe started on that kind of music, and that's where they were. But for me, I started with R&B music, like definitely, and maybe like even more so than R&B music, like soul music. Like that's where I started. Like I started with that. When I was a little kid, like we always had Kiss FM on in the morning. You know what I mean? Like I was hearing Isaac Hayes all the time. Like it was a time. You know what I mean? It was a time, and I got introduced to a lot of like different music that I didn't even know I knew until like later on when I was able to look it up myself, and I was like, yo, like that's dope. Like Barry White's dope. Like Stevie Wonder's dope. Luther Vandross is dope. Aretha Franklin's dope. Like, you know what I mean? I looked into a lot of stuff. Sam Cooke is dope. Like, so I look into a lot of music. Like I love music. Music is one of those things. Like if I had to pick between music and manga, I feel like probably I don't know. That'd be hard. If I had to choose between music and manga, it'd be tough. But I feel like I'd probably choose music. Like I think music might be my like favorite thing in this world. Like if someone was like, you had to choose between music or manga, I'd probably choose music. Honestly, I probably like if I had to like read manga for the rest of my life or like listen to music, I'd probably choose music. Music is like, And I think it's because like it's attached to dancing, and I love dancing. Like dancing is another thing that like is like that's just like in me, yo. I love dancing. I love dancing. I love music, and I love manga. I love reading. Like those are my three things. Eating too, of course. Food, you know what it is. So that too. But music, y'all. Music is like it's just connected to so many things that I really care about. So if I had to choose, it'd be music. Like I'm like manga is like an incredible thing. But if someone was like, yo, you about to die unless you make this choice, I'm like, I'm going with the music. All right, that's just is what it is. But again, tomorrow I'm gonna I gotta figure out the time. Gotta make sure it's a time that people can like, come through to the music. Football season's back, so some people are watching football, and it is what it is. I don't really watch football like right now. I pay attention, like I know what's going on, but I don't really watch football like that. I don't watch the games or anything like that. Yeah. There's other stuff I want to do that I like spend my time doing. So it is what it is. But I think I'll probably have more time to like check out like basketball games. Basketball games are just kind of different. Basketball, I think, is like something I really, really love. Like I think I follow basketball probably more so than football. So, that is what it is. But back to music. Music is a beautiful, beautiful thing, y'all. It really is. It's like one of those things that it just fits everything. It fits everything. It fits every occasion. It's just dope. It's just dope stuff. And I don't know. I mean, right now I'm just in like a mood. I'm just like, sometimes like, I mean, I'm kind of always in a music mood, but right now I'm like just taking in, I don't know. I'm just taking in all the music that I'm listening to. Is different. There's a difference than like when you're just like, saying, oh, I'm gonna like listen to some music. I'm gonna chill, hop on the bus, hop on the train, do whatever it is that I'm gonna do to get to where it is that I need to get to. And that's different. But when you just like take the time and you say like, you know what, I'm gonna sit. That's weird. When you just take the time to say like, I'm just gonna sit and I'm gonna listen to the music and I'm gonna really like take in the lyrics and I'm gonna take in the instruments and the sounds and the production and seeing what's kind of going on in certain instances. And then you just kind of go on like a music run, you know what I mean? And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. When you might listen to one artist, right? You might listen to one artist, go through an album, and then you're like, yo, like I'm trying to listen to like some of the other stuff from this artist. Then you go through like a bunch of their catalog. Then you're like, okay, like I'm trying to find some other music that it doesn't have to sound like exactly like that, but something that's like similar or connected in a certain way. Maybe like, you might be like, yo, like where's some of those other tracks that are utilizing like bass, like a bass guitar or something like that? Where are the tracks that are utilizing like, violins in a really, really interesting way? Where are some of those tracks that like, just like for whatever reason, like you just want to listen to a track with like, dope like a dope like bit of like drumming or like maracas or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever, it don't matter what it is, but like you just kind of know, you know what I mean? When you're like, I gotta do a search. So I think today was like one of those days where I was just like, there's always albums that kind of do that for you. And like No Name's like an artist that always does that for me. Like whenever like I'm listening to her music, I always kind of get into like the zone. I'm just like, all right, I listen to Telephone. All right, let me go look for some other stuff. I listened to Room 25 yesterday. Thought it was, I thought it was cool. First listen, I think for me is always like, I listen to some things, some tracks I really like, and then like I listen to an album like quite a few times. Like, so I always like listen to an album a good, like, I want to say like, depending on the album, right? Like I listen to it like a good, like, I want to say 7 times, something like that, for me to be like, all right, let me like tell you how I feel about this album, what I like and what I don't like and all that stuff. So like, Eminem's like Kamikaze album, I listened to that a few times. It wasn't like, oh, I listened to it once and then I was like, this album trash. I was like, I listened to it once and I was like, oh, this, there were a couple of songs on there that I thought were okay. that I thought were like, not terrible or anything like that. And the rest of them, I was like, I'm not really feeling or whatever. Then I listened to it more times, and I was still like, and I still kind of felt the same way. I was like, these are songs that I like. Okay, like I like some, but then I like these songs, but the rest of them were like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. It wasn't it. It wasn't it. And I think with No Name, it was like, I think the best album sort of like you listen to them, and they get better, and they get better, and they get better, and they get better. And like No Name's Room 25 is an album that just it gets better with like every listen. Like there are songs that you're gonna love. I'm gonna talk about this way more in depth tomorrow on that stream. We're gonna talk about No Name's 25, Room 25. That's a dope album. Check it out. Listen to it a few times. Even if you like listen to it once and you're like, this ain't for me, just give it the whole album a listen. But I always tell people, I'm like, look, like for me, at least I gotta listen to an album like a solid like 4 or 5 times before I can kind of get to a place where I can say, okay, like this is how I feel about the album. And then like 7 times for me is like my sort of like magic number. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I know without a doubt, like I like the album or I don't, or I like the mixtape or I don't. And I think again, one thing that people really like, sometimes it gets on my nerves a little bit because I think one thing I want to talk about real quick is like the sort of like for me how I kind of define an album versus like a mixtape versus like just like a bunch of versus just like a bunch of like singles on like a track and then somebody calls it an album or something like that. I would say this is the thing, right? Sometimes people will get on me when I say stuff like this, but this is how I feel. Like I feel like for me, I like if we talk about Michael Jackson, right? We talk about MJ. I like Off the Wall more than I like Thriller. All right. And this is how I feel, right? Music, I think in a lot of ways, like music is very subjective. That doesn't mean you can't be like critical of it. It just means that like in a lot of ways, like, whether you sort of like a particular thing is kind of, to me, like different from like, oh, I'm trying to be critical about this work that I'm looking at. I'm trying to analyze it. I'm trying to see what things were done like in a certain way and what sort of sounds are pushing things or pushing boundaries and whatever. And for me, like when we think about like an album versus like a mixtape versus just like a sort of amalgamation of like hits or whatever, right? It's a little different. Off the Wall to me is like an album. Like there's a lot that's kind of going on there. The sound is very like cohesive. When you listen through it, you're like, oh, like it. You could just chill and listen to Off the Wall, and it's just like great because it's like it I don't know how to talk. It's like a sort of like bit of psychedelic, bit of disco, moving into like sort of early like 1980 kind of sound that comes through after like after a bit after Off the Wall. You know what I mean? And like Off the Wall is kind of telling you like, yo, like MJ's like moving in a certain direction, but he's still in this like very like disco psychedelic kind of like soul sort of like vibe. So for me, like Off the Wall is just like a dope album. Like I can listen through Off the Wall, have no problem doing it. Because the sounds of all the songs are so like cohesive. I can move from one song to the next and be like, yo, like I know I'm listening to this album. I know I'm listening to Off the Wall. The sonically, I'm like, this is what this album is about. Thriller is different. Thriller is like, you can tell like Quincy Jones is like doing a lot there. He's trying all these different things. He's trying something with Billie Jean. He's trying something with Beat It. He's trying something with Thriller. He's trying something with Baby Be Mine. He's doing all these different things. And for me, like if you look at like when you listen to like Beat It is not an album, is not a song that you would hear on Off the Wall, but like Baby Be Mine is an album that you would hear on Off the Wall. You know what I mean? It's like if I put Baby Be Mine on Off the Wall, like it would fit. It wouldn't be like an exact fit or anything like that, but you can tell like in some ways that song is kind of like very like representative of the transition from like those Off the Wall sort of like MJ tracks to like a Thriller and everything like that. But I think like Thriller is like, yo, you can tell Quincy's just like trying all these different things. He's like throwing paint on the walls. He's like, yo, let me see what I can do and let me see what I can get out of it. is different. It's different. But I don't think Thriller is like a bad album by any means. Thriller is like still like one of my favorite albums, not well, one of my favorite like albums ever, right? But I think that like in terms of how I sort of define an album, I think Thriller is less of a cohesive album than Off the Wall is. For me, that cohesion is really important. If I want to listen to a whole album, I'm looking for that cohesion. I'm looking for like all of that stuff to kind of come together to make this like one sort of thing that I can like listen throughout. And I think that another thing that's really important is like I think one thing that like makes Thriller like really great. It doesn't make it an album necessarily, but I think it makes it great. Is that like Thriller's like a short album. Thriller is like relatively short in terms of like all the other albums that we generally get out now, right? Kind of used to be like you didn't get like 80 like songs on the album or 20 songs an album, 18 songs. Like you would get like maybe 13, 12, 11, 10. You get like, it would be a pretty good number. For me, like I like albums that aren't like 20 songs, 22 songs, you know what I mean? 18 songs, 17 songs. I like albums that are like max like 13 to 14. 14 is like, even for me, I'm like 14 is like a little bit. 14 is like a little bit. Unless you're trying to do something with that 14, unless you have like, kind of like a side A, side B kind of thing that you're trying to do there, where it's like you have like, here's like these kind of tracks and I'm mixing them with these kind of tracks, and that's what you're trying to do. I totally understand that. To me, that's like different. That's different. That's what you're trying to do, then that's dope. Right. But if you are like, I'm putting out 16 songs and maybe like 8 of them are like solid songs and the dope songs, and then the rest of them are like meh songs. I'm like, to me, that's not a good album. Like it's not even an album to me. Like it's just like, it's not good. Like if I'm like for me, the best albums are like, I can listen to like every track does something that is very like clear, both like maybe from like a lyrical perspective, and if there are no lyrics, and like sonically in that way, right? Like without the lyrics. Because I think like lyrics also add a bit of like roundness to like what we call like a sound, the sound of like a song or whatever, a track or whatever. So that's kind of how I feel about that. Like I feel like there are albums that like clearly like are made to be like, this is what I'm trying to do with this whole sort of body of like this body of work that like is coming together to form this thing and to send this like maybe particular message or sound or whatever vibe or whatever. And then there's like, here's this like thing with like a bunch of like different like sounds and stuff like that. And like, right, like Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy, to me, that's like amalgamation of just like tracks, right? That doesn't mean that I don't like it at all or anything like that. Like y'all have heard me. Like I like that album. I think it does some really good things. It's dope. It's like it's just like it's just got that like vibe that I like, So I like it, but I feel like as like a cohesive sort of unit, it doesn't do that. One, because like Cardi has all these features on it. They all doing different things. You know what I mean? So it's not really an album to me in that sense. But that doesn't mean that like, right, it's similar to like Thriller in only in the way that you can tell it's like a collection of like songs that are all like hits in different ways. You know what I mean? And the transitions aren't like smooth or anything like that, sonically, lyrically, whatever. So that's kind of how I feel about that. But yeah, like I've just been going through music. I've just been going through music. Let me go through the phone. All right, because I've been going through music, y'all. Let me check out. Yeah, so I've just been going through like a certain type. I've just been going through a lot of like, that's what we call like, obviously Mac Miller. Obviously, I've been going through a lot of Mac Miller. If anybody wants to come through, feel free to come through. It's a Saturday. Things are happening and all that. But if anybody wants to come through, feel free to come through. All right. Let me see. Is King still streaming? Because it says King of Lightning is live. So I guess he's still streaming. Let me see. That's probably where everybody over at the King of Lightning stream. Yeah, he's still streaming. All right. Yeah, I don't care about this. I'm like King is cool, but like I just don't care about rankings. And it's a One Piece stream. I'm like, I don't care about that. But so what I'm going through. I got like, all right. So obviously I've been listening to like a ton of Mac Miller. Swimming, right, is dope. All right. I listened to Macadelic a while ago, like years ago. Like back when he like man, I can't remember. Like when I was in like I was still in like college, like I was still like going to school and for my BA. And I liked it back then. I liked it back then. And I like it now. I like that. Swimming is dope though. Swimming is really good. Swimming is very good. Uh the Divine Feminine, of course, that's like my kind of stuff. Like both of those things are my kind of like sound. I like those sounds. I like what Mac is doing. Like you could tell it was in the like not as some like yeah, kind of an evolution, like like or progression in some ways. Like you can always tell, like there are certain artists that when you follow them for a while, you can hear like a distinct evolution in the sound whenever you get to certain albums. So like if you listen to like uh Fall Out Boy. I always use Fall Out Boy as like an example. Paramore too, as like a lot of like punk rock bands are kind of like the more famous ones are examples because you can tell from when they kind of go from the garage band sound. You know what I mean? The production isn't like at the same level. You know what I mean? Like the vocals also like aren't like they're there, but they're not there in the same way. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a confidence and a type of sound that when it comes to like sort of rock not rock bands, but like especially punk rock bands and like like when they had their vocalists, there's a sound like in terms of like their I don't know, I don't know what to call it, but like it's a difference between like like if you listen to Fall Out Boy, it's like or early Paramore. It's like early Paramore or early Fall Out Boy, and then there's like the later stuff where you can tell like they've like maybe gotten a vocal coach. They put in the work. They could sing before in a certain way, but then they like put in the work, or you could tell they were like practicing in a different way. They were doing the runs. They've been like doing the vocal like exercises and stuff like that, and their sound is different vocally. And then the band kind of like evolves with them, and the rest of the sort of band evolves with them, and the like sound gets better. They're doing different things. They're adding different instruments. You know what I mean? They're doing all this stuff, and it's just really, really kind of great to watch. Because you never want your band or your people that you're listening to be stagnant. You don't want that. You know what I mean? You don't want that. So I think like I really, really like I like listening to like bands evolve. That's what I like. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. All right. And Fall Out Boy and like Paramore are like good examples of that. When I think about like just like the music that I've been listening to, like and like Mac Miller. So I was talking about Mac Miller. So like Mac Miller is like you can tell like there's an evolution there too. Like he's doing these different things. He's like in this like different kind of vibe. It's really cool. It's really interesting. But in some ways it's like also like it's very telling. RP Mac Miller. I was like genuinely like hit like when he passed like that, like it hit me a bit. Like I was like, wow, like and I didn't expect that. I didn't expect it to hit me in the way that it did. I think it's just because like I guess it was the kind of person that he was, and how many people like just kind of like loved him and loved his energy and all that stuff. So that to me like it impacted me, I think, and it still is. And I think in some ways it's also part of like why like I'm really like in a particular sort of like music mood and like in certain ways. But just kind of getting back to the music. Let me pull up the phone. Pull up the phone real quick. You know what I mean? Search. You know what I mean? So bunch of artists. You know, Vivian Green is dope. Old school, not old school, but like, you know, yeah, I would say old school. I would say like Vivian Green's been out for a long time. But she's very dope. You know what I mean? Check her out. Uh you know, and I remember listening to her like a while back, and then I just kind of like stopped. And then I don't know why, but Joe Budden, like on one of his podcast episodes, like played a Vivian Green song that I remembered, and I was like, yo, that song is dope. And then I remember that song, like the song is great. And then what you call it? Let me I'm gonna suggest a whole bunch of music tomorrow for that when during that stream. I'm gonna suggest a whole bunch of music. When you come through to that stream, y'all, like you're gonna get so many music suggestions. And we're gonna like, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to like set up like a thread, just a Twitter thread, and we're just gonna put music in it. There's also like the Grapevine, which is like a YouTube channel. They had like a UK like R&B artist thread. It was super dope, and I went through it. And I was like, yo, there's so many artists there. You know, like Ray Black. Check out Ray Black. Ray Black is super dope. All right, so many artists. Obviously George Smith. You know what I mean? There are a bunch of them that are really, really good. So check them out. Like Vivian Green is dope, right? Obviously No Name. All right. Tierra Whack is very cool. She's pretty recent. I think she's only like 22 or something like that. You know, but she came up with this album, Whack World, that's really, really cool. I like it. Like I listened to it a few times. One, because like it's a different kind of concept. Like each song is only a minute. So it's very dope. It's a very interesting concept. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I would check her out. You know, Donnie Trumpet, of course. Like that's also another one that's really dope. I probably started checking out Donnie Trumpet like pretty recently. And in his band, like they're pretty cool. He's like actually like his like thing is like playing the trumpet, and he's really dope. And like again, I like jazz. I like all that stuff. So it's always cool to me, like whenever like an artist like incorporates like that jazz, like soul, like funk, like sound into their music. That always just like that's always gonna catch me. I'm always gonna be like, yo, I'm looking out for that. So definitely check that out. Mamona Yusuf, definitely check her out. She's dope artist. All right, really great. Almost worked with like a bunch of artists in the past. You know what I mean? Definitely check her out. Bilal like is like, of course, like legendary. If y'all don't know who Bilal is, like get on it. Bilal has just like influenced so many singers, so many artists in a way. Just like off like just his energy, the way he goes into like a track, live performances, all that stuff, just dope. You know what I mean? He's been out for a long time. Some of y'all might know him from like, you know, some of the stuff that he's done with like Kendrick. But he's been working with a whole bunch of artists in the past. Badu, Erykah Badu, Common, you know what I mean? A whole bunch of artists from way back. So definitely check out that dude. That cat's cool. Check out any of like Thundercat stuff, right? Also Thundercat, like I think Kendrick has also introduced a lot of people to Thundercat, but Thundercat is dope. Definitely check him out. Obviously Saba, right? If you haven't checked out Saba, check out Saba, please. Okay. Saba's incredibly dope. His album Care for Me is phenomenal. I'm listening to that a lot. Really great stuff. You know what I mean? Check him out. Tank and the Bangers, all right, they dope. They got a lot of great music out. Some of these people like don't have a lot of content out because like, you know, they don't necessarily put out like an album every single year or something like that. But like they take their time, they work on it, and they come out with the tracks and all that stuff, and it's dope. So check out Tank and the Bangers. They're great vocalists, great band, great sound, dope content. All right. There's so many people that I would say to check out. Obviously, you know, if you haven't checked out any R&B artists, obviously check out the guy Charlie Wilson. Check out again Vivian Green. Check out Kalani got some good stuff. Kalani has actually got some good stuff. I actually like Kalani a lot. Check her out. Check out who am I thinking? Brian McKnight, obviously. That's my guy. I've been listening to a lot of Brian McKnight recently as well. Not any like, you know, super breakup stuff or anything like that, but more of like the like happier stuff because, you know what I mean? Brian McKnight, he be getting like he'll go with his bag and he'll just pull out like just the saddest like stuff. You know what I mean? It sounds beautiful, but it's just like, yo, I'm not there. Like mentally, I'm not there. You know what I mean? I haven't gone through some breakup or anything like that. But like, you know, I listen to like the albums that have more like, yo, this we're together. This is great. Da 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 da. That stuff is really dope. Check that out. All right. You can check out like, let me see, what's the album that I really like? You know, I've always listened to like what's the album? Let me see. Let me pull it up. All right. You know, Anderson .Paak, obviously is dope. Just Me by Brian McKnight. That's an album that I think in some ways is like underrated, but I really, really like it. There's a lot of stuff on there. It's like a long one. It's a long album, but you don't have to listen to everything. There's a lot of like live stuff on here. But I would say not counting the live stuff, it's like, let me see. Not counting the live stuff, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 10 tracks. That's what I'm talking about, right? When you have like an album that is like small, and I want to sort of transition to that, all right? Because I could go on and on, you know, suggesting R&B artists, right? On and on and on. Gerald Levert, Luther, Gladys Knight, obviously Queen of the Flank, Franklin, Whitney. You know what I mean? I could go on and on. Right? Lauryn Hill, the Fugees, right? I could go on and on and on. All right, Stevie Wonder, Sam Cooke. Like I could go on, Mariah. So, but to get back to the sort of point that I want to make, like back to sort of albums and stuff like that. What I mean, right? Is like when I tell you, I love short albums. Right? I love short albums. Like that's how I feel about it. I love short albums. Like if an album, like to me, like a perfect album is like no more than like 12 tracks. If it's more than 12 tracks, I don't really like it. Sorry, my cat's just being ridiculous. All right, but 12 songs. If it goes over 12 songs, I'm a little iffy about it. That's how I feel. Some people are like, I don't know how you can listen to like a track that's like, you know, to an album that's like 9 songs. I'm like, yo, 9 songs and they all heat? Give me that. I'd rather have a 9 song like album that is heat. 10 songs, 11 songs, that is heat. All right. Well, 10 songs, like that's heat, instead of like 18 track album that where like 9 of the songs is trash and then the other 9 are good. I don't want that. I want an album which is like every song is heat and you can tell there's like so much effort put into it in a certain way and the sound is dope and it just comes together in a really nice way. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want that. So for me, it's always great to see like when an album is like short and sweet and I can just sit and vibe and listen to it and it doesn't take too much time out of my day. You know what I mean? And like I can listen to an album like on like a bus ride or something like that. Like I can take No Name's Room 25. I can do that, take it with me. I can hop on a bus, hop on a train. I can listen to that easy. The train, even the train ride might be short, the bus ride might be short, but I can listen to No Name's album and I'll be good. I'll be chilling. That's what I like. I like that. I don't like albums that are super long. The only time that I like an album that's like super long is if the songs are heat. The songs are great if they are fire. There are only a few times where I've listened to a whole album that was like dumb long, and I really like the entire album. You know what I mean? Or most of the album or something like that. There aren't too many artists that have done that. All right. Y'all should definitely check out some of y'all probably don't even like. Some of y'all probably know about Tori Amos. But some of y'all don't know about Tori Amos. I definitely didn't before my fiance. But Tori Amos is dope. You gotta check that out. That's some dope stuff. All right, check out Boys with Pele. My fiance put me onto that. That's her favorite album for good reason. It is fire. It's just like track after track after track after track, and it's just like different things that she's doing with like with the music, with her vocals, and like it's like the type of stuff. It's like it's music, yo. It's music. All right, it's music. Okay, so check that out as well. And I wanted to talk a bit about kind of how I feel about tomorrow I'm gonna be doing more of that too because there's gonna be more people. They're gonna be in the chat. They're gonna be in the stream. We're gonna be chilling. We're gonna be talking. It's gonna be cool. But like I like music. All right, I tweeted about that. You know what I mean? But I like music. I'm a music person. I'm a music head. That's who I am. I like listening to different music. That's it. I'm not trying to hear bum songs, tracks or anything like that. I don't care about bum tracks. I'm not interested in those tracks. I'm not interested in tracks that like when I hear them, I'm like, yo, there wasn't really any effort put into that. It's not introspective. It's not interesting. They're not talking about nothing. Like I don't care about those tracks. Those tracks bore me. Unless like but there are tracks that just be like, yo, like it's just about I'm just trying to chill. I'm just trying to vibe. I'm trying to get into a certain place, certain level, certain plane or whatever, mental space. And I think that's fine because like there's a sort of point there, right? That I think is cool. And I think that's important, right? Vibing to music, get into a certain space, being able to kind of chill, relax, get into a good mood, groove, whatever you're talking about. That's really important too, right? Because like Dustin said this in one of his tweets. It's like like most first and foremost, like music. A lot of music is like it's about a feeling. It's about a vibe. It's about a certain connection. You know what I mean? To like these sounds and the way the sounds come together and everything like that. You know what I mean? So for me, like that's what I'm interested in. So like it doesn't mean that like I can't value like certain rhymes and stuff like that. But if it's like fluff, if it's just like I'm not seeing nothing there, if it's just like I'm just trying to rhyme and I'm just trying to have a good time, and I'm like that's corny to me. It's just like there are ways in which you can do that and be really dope, right? AKA like No Name does that a lot. Chance has some tracks that are great. Like I don't want to say every Chance track is like amazing, but like there's some Chance tracks that I'm like, yo, like Chance is clearly in his bag. He's doing his stuff. You know what I mean? Common does it. Thought, Black Thought. Most Def, Talib. Even like Jay Electronica. Even though Jay hasn't come out with like much, but the stuff that he has come out with is like it's fire. Like the bars is dope. The sound is dope. He's saying something. He's really going somewhere and thinking about particular things and really trying to like parse through that stuff. And like when I listen to like a lot of M's tracks, I'm just bored. I'm like, I don't care about this stuff. Like I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your beef in that certain in a set way. I'm not invested in you making fun of a dude's man bun. I'm like, dude, like just let dude like put his hair in the style that he wants to put it in. Why are you getting on this man bun? Like it's just odd. It's just an odd thing to put in your disc. Be like, oh, why'd you name this when you get a man bun? I'm like, that's corny. It's just a corny bar. It's not really interesting. It's not up to par. I feel like he could definitely do way better. He's done way better. And I think when you do a diss track, you gotta come. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna throw out Lincoln's line. That's whack to me. Because then that leaves you open. It just leaves you open. Unless you're like, right, one of those people that's like, heaven's just he's a god. He's just amazing. Right? If you're one of those people, then you're just gonna be like, oh, he wasn't trying that hard. He came at this guy with whatever bars, and he still be. I'm like, that's whack. You gotta like done. That's what you gotta do. It's boring, right? So that's why I'm not super interested in that stuff. The bars is whack. Ain't nothing. He's not saying nothing that's like really, really interesting, introspective. He's not saying much about Machine Gun Kelly that like people didn't already know or whatever. It's corny. So I'm not interested in that stuff. That's why when people come to me and they're like, yo, but look at the way he like set up these like the bars and like, the rhyme schemes. I'm like, yo, like I've seen a bunch of people do those same rhyme schemes and the same, same use of double entendre, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's cool, but it's like, where's that substance? What's making up that stuff? What's making up like the rhyme schemes? Like what's making up the double entendres? Making up those meanings and everything like that? What are you trying to say? If you're not trying to say nothing that's particularly important or of substance, I'm like in that way, in the way that sort of ended it, I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm not invested. You know, if I know that's not what you're trying to do, and you're just kind of like, yo, this is like chill music, I'm trying to vibe, I'm trying to get you to a certain space, it's different. So you know, you don't necessarily need to expect a certain like level of like lyrical content or whatever. You know, that doesn't mean I'm like, you know, that doesn't mean I don't call artists whack or their bars are whack or anything like that. I've seen them. I've seen whack artists do whack bars. I've seen artists that I like put out like whack bars and whack music. You know, yeah, it feels like summer, yo. What's going on, Z-Boy? Right? Feels like summer. That's a cool track. I like that track. That track is just, it's a vibe, but it also says something that's like important and it talks about certain things. The video's cool. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff. There's stuff going on there, right? I like it. I like it. It's a good song. All right. That's the kind of thing that I think, you know, I need to see more of. I need to see more of like this kind of stuff. I want to hear more dope music. That's what I want. I don't want, you know, meh music. I don't want okay music. I don't want music. I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm not. Right? Because if you're putting stuff out, you trying to put out like dope content. That's what you're trying to do. Right? Regardless of like the production value or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like when you listen to like Fall Out Boy's Take This to Your Grave, the production value on that is like is garbage compared to like the production value on Save Rock and Roll or Filet Adieu or Infinity on High or even from Another Cork Tree. Like it's different. It's a different production value because they've reached a certain space and they've signed with this label and they're doing all this stuff. It's different. They're like this massive little like funding behind them. So of course the production value is going to be different, but the sound is still cool. I like that stuff. You know what I mean? There's some dope country. I had a space of time where I listened to a lot of country music. You know, I liked a lot of that stuff. I liked a lot of like you know, I like some like, you know, really just like, you know, just straight up country stuff, you know, some bluegrass stuff. Like I still think like bluegrass is dope. I gotta download like some bluegrass music. I really do, because I don't have any of that on my Spotify now. I don't know why I don't. I gotta get that on there. The bluegrass is dope. You know, I listen to like a lot of like you know, Reba's dope. Reba McEntire is great. You know, I like a lot of like, you know, younger like boy country music, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like younger sounding. Alana, I forgot what her name is. She was dope. She was on American Idol. She was great. I wasn't really feeling like Scotty McCree. I don't really like him like that. You know, Hunter Hayes is great. I like his kind of sound. I like the like, you know, it's sort of like a country pop kind of like sound. You know, older Taylor Swift was cool. You know, I liked her sound. You know, the pop Taylor Swift, I'm like, there's like a couple songs that I like, but most of it is kind of like whatever. You know, I only really like 2 Taylor Swift like songs. I like 22. I like Shake It Off, but outside of that, I'm like, it's whatever, right? But this is the thing, like, you know, Darius Rucker is really great. He's a country artist that I really liked for a long time. I haven't listened to any like new stuff or anything by him, but like, yeah, country was definitely dope, and I liked it. And there's a lot of stuff that I like, and I gotta download some stuff. I definitely gotta get that stuff on there, you know. But again, like, I'm trying to hear dope content. I'm trying to hear dope music. That's what I want, and I get to want that. I get to have that. I get to like say like, yo, I want to hear good music. I want to hear great music. I want to hear music which is clearly like you're trying to push through. You're trying to like do something like really interesting, innovative. You're trying to like get people like, you know, happy or, you know, in a certain mood or whatever. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I don't have like I don't have any anime soundtracks on mine. I think it's because like I used to, like when I was still living with my parents, like on the sort of like family like PC. I used to have me and my brother, we used to download a bunch of like soundtracks, like a bunch of OST soundtracks. We liked a lot of, you know, old school stuff. We had a lot of like Naruto on there, Code Geass, um, uh, a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Um, Death Note. Uh, we had a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that we had that was great, and obviously like Disney soundtracks. Like that's something I gotta download too. I gotta get that. I gotta like download a bunch of that stuff. That's dope. Like a lot of like animated like Disney-esque like movie kind of stuff. Really dope content. I gotta get that. I gotta get that downloaded too. I don't want to say it's low key. I wouldn't even say it's low key because like I think I don't really do most things low key. The only time I would say if I'm low key about something is like if it affects like my job or career or something like that. If I'm like, okay, I can't mention this thing or I can't mention that thing, then that's not even low key. That's just like buried. That's like they not knowing about none of that stuff, and that's fine because they don't need to. All right, it's on a need to know basis. All right, but like y'all know, like I don't do nothing low key. Like if I like what I like. I'm telling people what I like. If I tell somebody, I'm like, yo, like, I like, I used to like, I was like a grown like teenager watching like Blues Clues. You know what I mean? And there are people that would tell you, nah, I wasn't into that Blues Clues. I'm like, they lying because Blues Clues was hitting it. Blues Clues, people were talking about Blues Clues in school all the time. All right, there's no way you can make jokes about Blues Clues unless you're watching Blues Clues. I'm sorry, you can't do it. You can't know what's going on with Blue and Steve and all these characters and stuff like that unless you're watching Blues Clues. You lying if you're saying you're not watching that. You're lying. Okay, maybe you had to watch it with your little cousin or your little brother, little sister, little sibling or whatever. Right? But it's like, yo, Blues Clues was fire. All right, Blues Clues was it. Little, Nick Jr., bruh. Nick Jr. had some not even tracks, like what tracks? Had some like, the intros is dope. Intros is like they were sing-songy and they were catchy, and that's the point. All right, they were interesting. Okay, they were interesting. They were dope. All right, Franklin Turtle, come on, y'all. You don't know about that unless you were watching that. Come on, people be lying out here. People be lying out here trying to like hide their interest. I'm like, bruh, at this point, if you gotta hide your love of Disney tracks, I don't know, man. You gotta get out of wherever it is that you at. You gotta do something about that. Because I ain't doing that. All right. You gotta hide that stuff? Nah, I'm good. Chill. All right. But yo, what's good, Shit Dang? What's good, the heart? All right. So for me, like music is like I like music. I like music that like takes me to a certain place, makes me feel something, makes me really invested. That doesn't mean that I think like you can't think a song is like or like you can't like like vibing to a song or listening to a song, whatever. But like for me, I'm like, yo, like when I was thinking about that M stuff, I was like, that Eminem bars is corny. That's how I felt about that. But I'm gonna talk way more about that in depth tomorrow. Because we're gonna have some people in there. I'm gonna contact some people, see if they're ready for tomorrow. All right. But like, come on, Disney got them fire songs. Come on, son. Mulan, bruh. Mulan is probably my favorite Disney movie of all time. I think The Lion King as well. I think, but it's like a tie. But if I really had to choose, yo, Mulan is probably the number one. Like The Lion King was like number one for a long time. But for me, like I like The Lion King 2 more than I like The Lion King. So but I also really like Mulan. Like so it'd be Mulan. It'd be like Mulan is on top, then The Lion King 2, then I guess The Lion King. Hercules is there too. Hercules is dope. I love her. I love me some Hercules. Come on, Go the Distance, Being Man, Zero to Hero, bro. Yo, tracks, fire, Whole New World, bro. There's an old. I've been telling people about this. This is an old Disney movie. It's called Oliver and Company. It's based off of Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. All right, I've read that. I like it. And it's got one of the just like dopest like tracks from that movie. So it's called Why Should I Worry? Billy Joel sings just Billy Joel's like the singer for that track. It's just really, really good. It's a dope track, you know? And like it's like those are the tracks that pull you into the movie. They make you really fall in love with the movie. You remember the movies because of them. You know what I mean? Hunchback of Notre Dame, come on, bro. Yo, that movie was fire too. Hunchback of Notre Dame is fire. Some of y'all might not know about Anastasia. Anastasia? Yo, I forgot who came up with Anastasia. I feel like it was DreamWorks, but I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it was. Animated movie. I'm trying to remember who did that. Is it Disney? I don't know. Let me see what's going on with that. Yeah, 20th Century Fox. Like it's like one of these weird. It was directed and produced by some like former like Disney feature animation people. But it was also like distributed by 20th Century Fox in association with Fox Animation Studios. All right, so like it's one of those off like to the side kind of films, but it was really, really good. I love Anastasia. The soundtrack for that was fire. That had a fire soundtrack. I think I still had that at my parents' place. It was really good. It was really good. All right. Like, yo. All right. It was really, really good. I loved Anastasia. Y'all got to remember that. All right. Yeah. It's like, yeah, right. Trying not to look soft. And that's why, this is what I'm always saying. I'm like, look, you got to be, if you can't like certain things, if you feel like certain things make you look weak or soft or you're not a man because of those things, like you gotta reevaluate. You gotta really reevaluate. Because for me, if people were looking at me and they were like, "Yo, man, oh no, man," like I'm like, man, we're not gonna be friends like that. Sorry, all right? Because like you're trying to make me like feel guilty about my love for like particular things. Like, yo, again. Like when I'm talking about, yo, like I love shoujo manga, josei manga, all that stuff. You know what I mean? I love that stuff. I love Disney films. I love, certain musicals. Like I love that stuff. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good. You know, it's like, yo, just dope stuff. Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? It's just dope. It's great stuff. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. All right. You got to be able to be yourself in certain ways. You know, you don't want it to be harmful or anything like that. But yeah, right. Like you got to be able to do both. I think like that's why people are like, yo, man, you way too, like why you're an adult. You can't be into that stuff. You can't do that. It's like you gotta be able to like maintain like, because like when people are saying like you gotta maintain like the child in you, it's not, people aren't saying like continue to be immature or continue to like shirk away from your responsibilities or anything like that, right? It's like there's gotta be like those like positive qualities that children have that you want people to be able to maintain. Like you want to be able to sort of be like, warm and like that's like interested in different things, and you want to be like invested in, you want to be like you want to be listening to people, and you want to like you know what I mean, like there's like an energy, and I think that's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of stuff that like that's really sort of cool, that people like. I think one of the reasons why like a lot of people sort of like who they like is like there's usually a certain energy, I think, at least for me, like that's kind of like I say a childlike energy, but I mean like there's like a an exciting, like an excitement about things, and like a optimism, and like a um, just interest and like curiosity and all these different things and whatever it is, you know. And I think that's something that people really, really gravitate towards, and you want to maintain that. And that's the kind of stuff that gets you through like a lot of like dark times and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna have a stream tomorrow. Don't worry about Baxter. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. All right, we're gonna have a stream tomorrow. I gotta contact a few people, you know, a few folks, and then we're definitely gonna have it. We're definitely gonna have it. All right, but you know, it is what it is. All right, I've been talking about music like for a while now, but music is dope. You know, I really, I really love music. Hey, okay, hold on. We gotta switch to the sports. Yeah, because the Browns released Josh Gordon. I got questions too. But I mean, look, yo, like you look, you do not give up. You do not give up like Josh Gordon, like that talent level of like talent, um, unless like you already know. You already know. Okay? You already know. You already know. All right. So something happened where they were just like, and let me just read the statement real quick. Let me just read the statement real quick. All right. This afternoon, we informed Josh Gordon and his representatives that we are going to release him on Monday. For the past 6 years, the Browns have fully supported and invested in Josh, both personally and professionally, and wanted the best for him. But unfortunately, we've reached a point where we feel it's best to part ways and move forward. We wish Josh well. That's from the GM. All right. So once they reach that point, y'all, it's over. All right, that's it. That's it. All right, that's it. But I don't know if some of y'all might pay attention to the NFL, sports, stuff like that. But that's just like, yo, like when somebody like doesn't do what they're supposed to do over a certain period of time, like, and they really supported him. Obviously, I don't know what else has happened, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know. All right. You know, but obviously we want to know more. We want to see what's happening with that. But we know a lot. We know what generally happens and why it happens when it comes to Josh Gordon. So that's what it is. A lot of people are probably mad about their fantasy teams. I don't really do fantasy football at all. But I know people that do. So they're probably mad about that. Oh well. But look, music is like a beautiful thing. All right. I I adore music. Oh man. But it's cool. I just been like in a I just been like I kind of talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but I've just been like in like a like vibe. I just been listening to so much music. Like so much music, yo. It's ridiculous. You know? Um just albums. And like I said, this is something I said at the beginning of the stream too. It's like when you just go through like a bunch a bunch of music. You go through a bunch of it, like an album or something like that, or a mixtape or whatever. You go through it, and then you're like, yo, I'm in this like album's vibe or this mixtape's vibe. And then you're like, I need to look for more music that's like similar to that, or like, or is connected in some way. Like maybe like this album like utilize a particular instrument, and you're like, okay, I got to go find that. You know what I mean? You right? And I think one thing that's great about like those instances is that they take you to like that takes you like to like music that you would not have listened to if you just like did that without, if you were looking for music without the influence of that like album that you initially listened to. So to me, that's great. You know, like I think one thing that I love about like where sort of like certain artists have been going when it comes to like their music and stuff is the incorporation of so many different types of sounds and instruments and stuff like that. And it allows you to sort of like, you know, say, hey, like I really want to search for like, you know, maybe I can search for like this particular sound because that instrument was being used. Like maybe I just really want to like look for like someone who plays a trumpet in a similar way or something like that. Or maybe I want to look for the person who played the trumpet on that track, and I want to see if they have like, you know, an album out, you know, where it's just straight like trumpet, like riffs and whatever, you know, and that's what you want to look for, you know. So I think music is great for that. Music is really, really great for that. It's just dope. It's just dope. You know, so I've been looking for a lot of music. I've been listening to a lot of music. All right. That's what I've been doing. A lot of jazz, a lot of rap, a lot of R&B, a little bit of punk rock recently too. I've been going back to some albums that I used to listen to. Not everything, because I think, you know, with punk, at least for me, like there's music that I'm just like, I want to say like, not that I outgrew, but I'm just not feeling it now, like in the way that I was before. Like there's just certain punk bands I'm like, oh, I'm not really feeling them right now. You know, I'm not feeling them now in the way that I did before. You know, so you know it is what it is when it comes to that. But I think R&B has always just been like, when I liked R&B when I was like 8, I still love that R&B. You know, same thing with like all the R&B that I've listened to over my like lifetime, I still love. Like I've never like said, oh, I can't listen to this R&B no more. Well, R. Kelly, right? Because R. Kelly trash. So that's one. All right, where I'm just like, nah, I can't do it. Chris Brown's kind of another one where I'm like, you know. I've made arguments. I've said that Chris Brown only has one solid album. That's his first album. After that, it's just like, it ain't it. Fame is okay. Fame is okay. You know, there's some tracks that I like, but Fame is alright. All right, but his first album was really good. That was like an album where it was like, that's it. That's the album. All right. And then Exclusive wasn't very good. There were some tracks on Exclusive that were really good. And that they kind of put him in this space. But Exclusive wasn't like a really, really good album. Graffiti was okay. That was another album that was okay. You know, it just, I don't know, something about it was just like, it was all right. I definitely listened to it. I gave it a few listens. But it was all right. You know what I mean? So he's kind of coming with just like he's a great artist when it comes to singles, but in terms of albums, like it ain't it. All right, I don't think he's not great at that. He's not great at that. Even though he like probably believes that he's amazing at that, he's not. His only real solid album as a whole was his first album, Chris Brown. That's it. Everything else is like, you know, it's just like there are a lot of singles on there, and the rest of the songs aren't very good. They're like blah. Okay, that's how I feel about that. All right. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they're like my music, like because I consider myself like I consider myself to be a poet, like not in like, you know, I've written down raps or anything like that, but like I write poetry, and I've been writing for a long time, and when like but for me, like it's like I wouldn't ever be like a professional poet because like there's just like deadlines. You got to really crank out content in a certain way that's not for me. I just kind of like say like, hey, like, I'm in this mood. I really want to write, and I'll write down like, and I'll just produce some poems. Like, I'm just like really put out some poems, and then when I feel like I want to write again, then I feel like I want to write again. Um, I want to get back to writing, doing like Twitter poems because like I've had put one of those out, and I think what I might do is like try to like make like a chat book of just like Twitter poems. I know those there are probably a bunch of those out because like I had a professor that had me kind of do that. He had us do like Twitter, like that was when it was still 140, when it was still 140 characters, and he had us do like Twitter, Twitter like kind of Twitter poems, Twitter like or Twitter like quick Twitter like phrases or whatever, or like quotes or whatever, and like we had to make up our own sayings and stuff. And I remember doing that, and I really liked it. And I think I would say I was probably into writing poetry, but even before that. But I think it was cool that like you could sort of think about it and say like, hey, like let's make it smaller and do that. And there was another class I think where I also had to do that, and it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna kind of try to do that. I'm gonna try to like put out like Twitter poems whenever I sort of can. I already put out one. Maybe I'll like take the tomorrow, a bit of tomorrow to like do that, and I'll see. I've had some ideas in my head. Like I want to put them down, and we'll see. We'll see. All right. But music is dope. Music is just like inspiring. It gets you in a place. It gets you in a zone. You really just want to like put out content. You want to create. You want to do whatever it is that you want to do. You might not necessarily like want to, make like, I don't know, music, but you might want to do something. You might want to do something. You might want to write. You might want to bake. You might want to, work out. You might want to do whatever. But music is like great for that. Music is really great for that. All right. Oh man. But I don't know. Just thinking like some of the music I listen to. Really great stuff. I don't know what's going on. All right, one of my cats. But great stuff. Let me Which reminds me, Comic-Con is coming up. Comic-Con is coming up. So I really wanna do some stuff for that. Oh man, there are like panels that I really want to go to. I'm trying to remember. I know I looked through it. Quite a few panels. There's like something called Anime Fest that's happening at Comic-Con as well. I'm really looking to seeing that. There are a few that I like sort of penned down to say like, okay, definitely want to go to that panel. I think like I know I'm going to be working on one of the days, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh man. All right. I think I'm going to get out of here because it is 8:41. I gotta sit. I taught today, so it's weird. Teaching kind of gives you like this energy, but you also like when the like fatigue hits you, it hits you, and you're just like, man, dope. Looking at always like looking through Twitter and seeing people read a lot of new stuff. I'm gonna try to finish I'm gonna try to finish Golden Kamui tomorrow. All right, just because my throat's feeling a little right now, and I'd have to go through like 4 chapters. But I can't do that right now, not today. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow. I want to get back to Monster 2. I think I'm gonna read those 4 chapters at one point of the day tomorrow, and then I'm gonna read some more of Monster tomorrow as well. I'm actually reading. I forgot who suggested it to me. There was someone suggested it to me. I can't remember who it was. Man, but they suggested MW, which is a manga by Osamu Tezuka, which is dope. It's another like longer work. I've read Astro Boy and Takeda Hito. Those are probably the only like Tezuka works that I've read, but I really like them. I started reading MW so far, and I really like it. I really like it. MW so far is dope. So I'm not gonna live stream to that or anything. I'm not gonna live react to that or anything. I've already started reading it. And Tezuka, I generally try not to live react to anything Tezuka, because usually the works are just too long. But if I can find something by Tezuka that's like shorter, I might do it. I think Buddha is like something that's like pretty short. I'm gonna look that up. I've heard good things about Buddha. Osamu Tezuka. Heard some good things about Buddha. There's like how many volumes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 8 volumes. So I might check that out. And there are a bunch of different stuff too. You know, Phoenix, Saint Young Men, Blackjack. I feel like Blackjack is something that I've been suggested as well. But MW is dope. I really like MW so far. I really like. I loved Takeda Hito. I loved Astro Boy. Buddha might be really good. I'll check that. Well, 14 volumes. There's 8 for the worldwide edition, but I guess that's like a more omnibus-y kind of stuff. So I'm gonna check that out. And I don't know. I can't ever find Phoenix. I don't know where that's at. I've been trying. It's like 12 books, 12 volumes. Yeah, let me see something. You know, it like varies in price. It's just really expensive. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is like, yeah, it's like volume 10 on Amazon, like bruh. 7, there are 7 used. Like look at like the paperback 7 used from like $400 for 7 for like from the used. There's one new one that is literally like $7 away from being $1,000. Son. Like, bruh. I'm looking at this right now, son. $993.43. My goodness. We look at 7 used. We got $393, $580, $676, $952, $1,500, $3,214. What? 5,025? Son. Look at that. That's intense. All right, Ayako, I'll check. Let me check that out. Let me see if Ayako is available. No, I'm always checking out. Let me check out the manga and stuff. Okay. There's one that's like 2456. Okay, it says long ago, so Ayako, right? It says long ago, long considered as one of Osamu Tezuka's most political narratives, Ayako is also considered to be one of his most challenging, as it defies the conventions of his manga by utilizing a completely original cast and relying solely on historical drama to drive the plot. Ayako pulls no punches and does not allow for gimmicks as science fiction or fantasy may. Instead, Tezuka weaves together a tale which its core simply focuses on a single family, a family that could be considered a metaphor for a rapidly developing superpower. Wow. Overflowing with imagery of the Cold War seen through Japan's eyes, Ayako is firmly set in realism, taking inspiration from a number of historical events that occurred over the American occupation and the Cultural Revolution which soon followed. Believed to be Tezuka's answer to the Gekiga dramatic comics movement of the 60s, which is dope. If you've ever read any Gekiga, like, definitely check that out. I love Gekiga. Really good stuff. Ayako should be considered one of the better early examples of a seinen young adult narrative to be published. Really cool. Initially set in the aftermath of World War II, Ayako focuses his attention on the Tange clan, a once powerful family of landowners living in a rural community in northern Japan. From the moment readers are introduced to the extended family, it is apparent that the war and American occupation have begun to erode the fabric that binds them all together. The increasing influence of political, economic, and social change begins to tear into the many Tange siblings, while a strange marriage agreement creates resentment between the eldest son and the sire. When the family seems to have completely fallen apart, they decide to turn their collective rage on what they believe to be the source of their troubles. The newest member of the Tange family, the youngest sister, Ayako. Oof, that's going to be rough. That's going to be a rough read. That's all I'm saying. That's going to be rough. Okay. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of manga that I really want to read, you know. That I really got to check out. Very interesting, though. Looking forward to it. Man, all right. You know, like how I, there are reads, like when I read certain things, I'm just like, oh. You know, it's always like an amazing like experience, but it's also like exhausting. It's just like you put your energies into it, and when you're done, it's like, you gotta take a break. You need a break, right? When I finished Otakiri Hito, I needed a break. When I finished Your Lie in April, I needed a break. When I finished MW, I'm probably also gonna need a break. A Drifting Life also, I needed a break. I'm trying to think of some other manga where I was like, man, this was rough. I had to like chill. 20th Century Boys, I needed a bit of a break. That was because it's just it's like the amount of energy that you put into it, you know. Soul, I needed a break. There's just certain manga where I just like I had to chill. You know. Did I finish? I don't know if I ever finished Soul. I gotta finish that. I feel like I did, but I probably didn't. I gotta look back at my readathon. I gotta get back to that. I'll probably finish that. If I haven't, then I'll finish it. But I feel like I did. I feel like I did finish Soul. But if I haven't, I'll get back to it. You know, I might have had to take a break from Soul Ending because it was just so rough. But I'm gonna get back to it. If I didn't. But there are a lot of manga that I want to read. There's actually a manga. I'm gonna go pull it. I'm gonna go pull it from my shelves right now. Wait, no. Let me look it up. It is called. Yeah, it's Let me go to Amazon for that. 'Cause Amazon is really good about just like putting up like certain descriptions and stuff. I have the first volume, but I want to react to it. I don't want to like read it on my own necessarily. It's fairly short. Yeah, it's called I'll Give It My All. And there's a like ellipses, and then it's like tomorrow. And it's by Shunji Aono, and it just seems really interesting. Let me just read it very quickly. It's like um, life begins at 40, even for pathetic losers. R to L, like okay, so right to left, Japanese style, blah, blah, blah. Right. Life begins at 40, even for pathetic losers. Shizuo Oguru is living his dreams, sort of. A complete waste of a human life until now. 40-year-old Shizuo breaks free from the corporate rat race and charts himself a fairly random and new career course to become a published manga artist. Sure, he lacks a talent, discipline, or any other skill necessary to become a success in the manga industry, but that's not enough to stop Shizuo. That's gonna be like so. I think that's gonna be interesting. Someone suggested it a while ago, and it seemed pretty cool, and I really wanted to check it out. So I really do want to like start reading it. I don't know when I'm gonna start. I don't know if I'm gonna read it on my own or I'm gonna react to it. I'm not sure yet. Still need to get the girl from the other side. I don't know when volume 5 is coming out. But I have volumes 1 through 4. But I have no idea when volume 5 is coming out. Let me see. Is it already out? No. Oh, it's coming out on the 25th. Okay. That's one I really, really like. I'm really, really, really invested in that. I want to see I want to read more of that. Because like it's a great series. I really like it. It's sort of like related to like the ancient Magus Bride. It's kind of like there's some similarities and some differences, but I really like to go from the other side. I think it's pretty dope. I would check it out definitely. You just finished reading. I'll give it my all tomorrow. Yo, all right. So I think I'm gonna react to it actually. If anything, I think I only have the first volume on me. So because I always like buying the first volume of a work generally, and if I really really like the work, then I'll check it out. I gotta get back to so many things and react to so many things. But like I don't know. Like I just kind of like I gotta get back into like the swing of it. Some manga like I stopped reading that I don't want to get back to. I got to figure out what I'm gonna live react to tomorrow. That's important. I got to figure that out. So I'm really really invested in reading some more of the stuff, reacting to some more of the stuff. I think I'm gonna end the stream here because I want to get back to reading MW. MW is really good. It's really, really good. I really like it a lot. Shout out to my fiance for getting it. That was like an early birthday present, which I love so far. It's very good. It's very good. I want to keep reading it. It's definitely my style. It's definitely my like kind of thing. So looking forward to continuing that. All right. Let me get out of here. I don't know what people are doing. I know. I feel like King is probably still streaming. MW is a Osamu Tezuka manga. Let me put the link through. One sec, I'm just gonna put a link. All right, check that out. It's pretty cool. I really like it. I really like it so far. I'm just gonna keep reading it. All right, so I'm just gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna head out now because I've been thinking about it. Even while I was teaching, I was like, yo, I gotta read this manga, you know. So I really want to check it out. I really want to finish it. All right, let me get out of here. All right, thank y'all for coming through. Tomorrow is gonna be the No Name stream. We're gonna talk about Room 25. We're gonna look through it. We're gonna look through the songs. We're gonna discuss it. I'm gonna see who can come through to that stream to talk about it, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. And then I think we're just gonna branch out into talking about music. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna see who's gonna be there, what time people can be there, because I know Dustin's doing a bunch of streams. Tomorrow. I don't know if he's streaming today. I don't know if Dustin's streaming today. I gotta find out. I don't think so. Maybe he is. I don't know. Because I know the time over at Cali is different. But we'll see. All right. So I'm gonna do my stream tomorrow. I'm gonna figure out what time people are doing certain things so I can, figure out when I'm gonna do mine. I want certain people to definitely be there, people that really love No Name or love the album or even less like the album or have listened to the album. So that's gonna be a dope stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try to also react to I think I'm gonna react to two things. I'm gonna react to a couple of Yona chapters. I gotta get back to Yona. Gotta finish. I gotta catch up. So I'm gonna get back to Yona. I'm probably gonna do some Yona tomorrow because I've been holding that off for too long. And some Yona, and maybe I'll give it my all tomorrow. Maybe I'll just do chapter 1 of that and see how I feel about it. And I'll see what tomorrow looks like. So I'll start with Yona. I'll do Yona because I gotta get back to Yona. I want to get back to that readathon. I can. I want to get back to. I want to read the first couple of chapters of I'll Give It My All tomorrow. And I don't know what the third thing is going to be, but maybe I'll stick to the two things. I'll do that. We'll see. All right. Thank God for coming through. I'll let you know what I'm going to do tomorrow, what I'm going to react to tomorrow. And yeah. All right. Thank y'all for coming through. Shouts out to all y'all. Shouts out to Baxter, yo, Communist Lizard. All right. Share the Dank, Z-Boy, the Heart. Shouts out to all y'all. Y'all are dope. All right. Let me get out of here. Check out some of the manga that I suggested, that Baxter suggested. Tezuka's just dope. He's just a great, that's why he's one of the gods of manga. All right. Just great content. Okay. Let me get out of here, y'all. I'm Black Manga Critic. Thank y'all for coming through to this music stream, / manga stream. Okay. And tomorrow we're gonna be talking about No Name, Room 25, which is a dope album. Please check it out. Okay. It's very good. I love it already. All right. I listened to it about 7 or 8 times. Okay. Check it out. All right. And then tomorrow I'll discuss it. All right. Thank y'all for coming through. Black Manga Critic, y'all. I'm out ya.